Hello everybody, welcome to Wine World TV, the best wine show anywhere. I'm your host, Mark Fusco. Now before we get started, make sure you're smashing that like button and subscribing to the channel. Every like and subscription helps build the channel. Even better, spread the word to your friends about, well, the best wine show anywhere. Duh. All right, so today I'm recording a series of, well, 4, maybe 8 reviews during the week of July 4th. I wrote the script before that. Some of these reviews will be released in 2026, like this one, and some other ones, and then the rest, well, next year, maybe later. These are wines that made some kind of promise to prioritize a video either to a winemaker, a friend, or just myself. The most important of those will come out this year. This wine was given to me by the winemaker, and I promised to do a video about it after tasting it. So this is one of those rare episodes where I've already had the wine. So to do my due diligence, this is a free sample, and I have free reign to review it however I wish. Okay. Side note, did you know it's free reign as in R-E-I-N and not R-E-I-G-N? I kind of didn't know which one it was, honestly. When I was writing the script. So free rein refers to holding a horse's reins so loosely that it's free to move however it wants. Yeah, I don't think I ever caught that in all the years I've been using the phrase, so you may see past videos descriptions using the incorrect spelling or the titles or descriptions or whatever. Anyway, back in November of 2025, I went to Houston to attend a Vinho Verde masterclass. After the class, there were over 15 wineries from the region showing off their wines. A lot of amazing wines were there. It's a super duper underappreciated region by most people, I think. Even most of us in the industry tend to think of it as just a quaffable, refreshing white wine with a touch of spritz to them. And there are a lot of them are that way. And like I said, while that's absolutely true, there are quite a few other wines there. Reds, whites, rosés, sparkling, and late harvest wines are made there. And there are 9, count them, 9 subregions. All right, you ready? The Vinho Verde DOC subregions. You have Monsalm e Melgaço, Lima, Cavado, Basto, Ave, Amarante, Susa, Bayam, and Paiva. All right. There are 15 grape varieties that are allowed to make wines under this DOC designation. The best known are Alvarinho and Loreto. I'd say that after that, it would be Trajadora and Arinto, all of which are white grapes. When it comes to red grapes, Vinhão is the most planted variety. It's a dark-skinned grape that makes very dark-colored wines. Many will call it a Tinterior grape. That's not entirely accurate. While it does have some pigmentation in the flesh, which results in a lightly colored red juice, the vast majority of the color from these wines does come from the skins, which does have quite a bit of pigmentation. In fact, the color in the flesh is actually coming from the grape skins. Over in the Douro, the grape is known as Suzam, and north across the border in Galicia, Spain, is also known as Suzão, but not the Suzam. So just real quick, Portuguese is not exactly pronounced like Spanish. No language is always pronounced exactly like another language, right? But they're very close and they will have the same spelling sometimes. But in Portuguese, this grape is Suzão, and the A has a tilde over it. And if you have a word that ends in AO with the A has a tilde over it, you have this kind of swallowed M sound. They don't necessarily emphasize it, so it might sound, a native speaker might say Suzão instead of Suzão. I kind of emphasize it to emphasize I'm using the Portuguese pronunciation, but in Spanish it would be Suzão. Okay. Anyway, you may have also heard the name Tinto Nacional, or in proper Portuguese pronunciation, Tinto. It was almost like a cha. Tinto Nacional. That's different than Touriga Nacional. So the TI is almost like a cha or a chi. All right, so stop the presses. Just then, Apparently, Sesam and Vinhão are now considered two distinct varieties. I got this from the Sesam Wikipedia page. I have a link below for that. Okay, so enough about the grape variety. What about the wine? Well, the table for this wine happened to be the very last table I had gone to. And while all the wines were excellent, I was blown away by this red. So this is a very, very rare instance where I've already had the wine, like I've already talked about. In fact, the owner of the winery, Tome Silva, gave me a bottle after I told him this was the best red I had from the event. Scratch that. The best wine of the entire event. So no pressure with it living up to that hype several months later. Unfortunately, since he didn't really speak a lot of English, I couldn't really get his story. He did give me his business card. That's really about it. So I emailed him to ask about the history of the winery and any information he could give me about the wine. I had kind of assumed he had a website and I could just get the information from there, but alas, really no website. And luckily, Tome replied. I love that. He actually replied really quickly. I'll just copy and paste my questions and his answers. All right, so number one, can you tell me more about yourself? Has this winery been in your family for a long time, or did you establish it yourself? His answer was, this project was started by me in 2017 with the planting of the first vineyards. I do not come from a family of wine growers. It is a personal project born from my passion for wine and my desire to produce wines that express the identity of our region. Second question. If you do not come from a family of wine growers, what made you decide to become one? His answer was, although I do not have a family background in viticulture, I have always had a strong interest in the world of wine. The decision to create this project came from a desire to produce authentic wines that highlight the grape varieties and terroir of the region where we are located. So the first and second question kind of have a very similar answer. All right, number three, when was the winery founded? He answered, I consider 2017 to be the founding year of the project, as this was when the first vineyards were planted. And I like that he uses the planting as when it was founded. Sometimes people use when the wine was first released, the first released vintage, even if it wasn't when the vineyards were planted. They sometimes use the first time they used the wines in a wine as when the winery is founded. All right, the fourth question, where is the winery located? Because I couldn't tell, even though now that I know it is on the label. The winery is located in the Ave subregion in the municipality of Fafe, within the Vinho Verde region in northern Portugal. Number five, what vineyard practices do you use, or if you purchase grapes, what practices do the growers follow? His answer, at present, we only grow white grape varieties in our own vineyards. The red grape varieties used in our wines are sourced from local growers in the region, selected for their quality of their fruit and for careful management of their vineyards throughout the growing season. All right, question number six. Can you tell me more about your winemaking style? His answer, for our red wines, the grapes are fully destemmed and transferred to a stainless steel fermentation tank, where fermentation takes place over approximately 7 days. Once fermentation is complete, the wine is transferred to stainless steel tanks where it ages for around 6 months before bottling. Our approach is focused on preserving the purity of the fruit, freshness, and the varietal character of Vinhão, while allowing the grape variety and the region to express themselves as clearly as possible. Question number 7. Do you have a technical sheet or specific information about the Vinhão 2024? And he goes, yes. Attached, you will find the complete technical sheet for the Vinhão 2024, which includes detailed information on its analytical characteristics, tasting notes, and food pairing suggestions. And then he ends it with, I hope this information is useful for your review. Should you require any additional information or supporting materials, I will be happy to assist. And then he goes, thank you for your interest, and I look forward to seeing the published video. Now, and of course I replied, thank you very much. Everything was exactly what I needed. And, I'm super stoked that he replied and with all the info, and adding that text sheet was actually very helpful. So without further ado, let's get the stats for this wine. The 2024 Encosta do Grandinho Vinhão Vinho Verde DOC, approximately $20 here in the States. From Portugal, from Minho, from Vinho Verde DOC, Ave, even though it's not on the label, it's coming from Ave, but for whatever reason, he's not using the Ave subregion. 100% Vinhão, fermentation stainless steel, ABV 10%, total acidity 6.2 grams per liter, pH is 3.59, and the residual sugar is 0.6 grams per liter. All right, one thing to note that the price it came up with is via an internet search. His tech sheet shows the retail to be €4. Given that, I would expect the retail here to be closer to about $10. While the euro to dollar conversion isn't 1-to-1, it's pretty close, and I normally double the foreign retail to come up with what the retail would be here. At most, it shouldn't be more than 15. All right, let's get into the wine. All that to really kind of go, I thought it was one of the best wines, and he sells it for €4? No. Whoa, easy there, killer. Okay. So I should have somewhat anticipated that. Yeah, we're going to just open the wine because something to be aware of with Vinho Verde, and I've never noticed it with a red wine, is that there can be some leftover carbonation, okay? Intentional. Like I talked about, like a refreshing wine that has a little bit of a spritz to it. So apparently this wine has that, and I did not remember getting that kind of quality from the tasting. So we're just going to open the wine. This might be the wine I just drink tonight. Whew. All right. Totally unexpected. That is a first. I've never had, that I can recall, a wine just start coming out from just putting the initial, whatchamacallit in there, the needle. Even like, personal, not like for the show, but just like in general. I don't think I've ever had that happen. It smells really good, by the way. Very fruity. Very, very fruity. And I just happen to have a wine opener at the table, so I didn't have to go and grab one. Yeah, there's some fizz in there. All right, I'm excited about that. Yeah, look at that. Slightly fizzy red wine. All right, with that said, this is a kind of a wine you probably want to have a little bit of a chill on in general. Okay. It's like a really deep color. I have some other more white paper over here I can use to kind of look at the color a little bit. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty dense. So, like I said, the juice might have a slight red tint to it, but the grape skins are really going to put a lot of color into it, and a good amount of staining on the glass as well. Yeah, like really a lot of staining on the glass. All right, let's check it out. So, I mean, it really jumps out on the glass, out of the glass. Very expressive. Lots of red and black fruits, blackberry, raspberry, maybe even a little bit of dark plum, black plum, and like this compote type of thing going on. Somewhat jammy. I feel like I get a little bit of like a vanilla quality, which I said it was all done in stainless. And let's see, let's just double check on you said about the reds. Freshness of fruit. Stainless steel, yeah. I think it's just because it's so like, I don't want to use the word jammy per se, but it's such a really fruit forward wine that I feel like I get that, but it's probably more just fruit forwardness than really like actual vanilla. Got some red flowers, fresh red flowers. Not a whole lot of earth, but there's like a touch. All right, let's just check it out. Dude, I'm telling you, this is a €4 wine. $10 to $15. I know 20 I found out, but this wine is absolutely killer. And what it is has this great complexity to it. Yes, it's a lot of fruit. It's a lot of red and black fruit. You know, that blackberry, that raspberry, a little bit of black plum, even a little bit of strawberry to it. But it's got a great floral quality to it, fresher on the flowers, and then just spices. So I think on the nose, I might have gotten vanilla. That might have been more about spices. So we're talking like cardamom. We're talking like almost like a ginger, almost like a Christmas spice, like an allspice, things like that. These are more things that you get from a grape variety rather than a barrel. I get a bramble to it, a little earthiness, and you get those spices on the palate. You get that almost forest. You get that forest floor going on here. And that little bit of spritz really gives you a brightness. It gives you a lot of lift. It really just enhances everything. It just, good Lord, this told me, I mean, I told you I was blown away with the wine back in 2025, and it's July 3rd. This video is going to be out within like a week or two. This wine is still absolutely killer. Like I could buy a lot of this wine. And I think, if I remember correctly, I don't think he had a distributor at the time, which is sad because I remember his wines being good, but now I'm having this wine. Whew, it is absolutely spectacular. I'm stoked to have this wine later. All right. I mean, for food pairings, like fun food, like pizzas, hot dogs, hamburgers, like picnic food, barbecue for sure. Barbecue food, you can do roasts, things like that. Fun food, like this is great picnic wine. This is, you know, you're out grilling, and this is just easy drinking. It's not life-changing wine, and that's fine. Not every wine has to be like, you know, the most complex, life-changing wine in the world. Sometimes you just need a wine that just tastes good, and this tastes good, and it delivers, and it has complexity too. That's what I love about this wine. Man, fantastic. All right, that's going to do it for today's show. If you enjoyed what I'm doing here, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe, and then tell your friends, and we'll see you next time. Maybe with more of this stuff.